Portions of this show are recorded. Strap in and be prepared.
Room for error is much slimmer
You
in
lose
basketball.
one player and it changes your entire team. It's not like that in football. It's just not.
It's not.
Interesting guests.
Kelly Graves, Mike Parker, Coach Mark Waskowski, Noah Eagle, Melissa Lombardi, Kenyon Barnard, Jonathan Stewart.
Sharp opinions.
Dana Altman probably earned a pass for a down year after almost 20 years of what he's done for Oregon basketball.
And some smiles.
Guys, I was stuck in a car wash.
Sounds like an R. Kelly song.
It's not an R. Kelly song.
It's Danny Havel.
I can't remember, and I've been doing this for longer than you've been alive, which is really horrible that I have to say that, but it's the truth.
Justin Grossweiner.
It's like the saying in Alaska that you don't have to be faster
Than the bear.
You just have to be faster than your friend.
Danny and Justin starts now on Fox Sports Eugene and Fox Sports Newport.
Hello, neighbors, and welcome high atop the Delta Triad, the Crystal Palace, the Bigfoot Beverages Studios, Fox Sports Eugene, Fox Sports Newport. You're locked into the fastest 60 minutes in sports. Hang on. Keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times, friends, as we get ready to blast off here on Danny and Justin. You can follow us on Twitter and Blue Sky. Also, wherever you podcast or wherever you find your music, whatever platform you're on where you consume that kind of quantity, like mass quantities like the Coneheads, you can find us, Danny and Justin, or the fastest 60 minutes. We are there. We are live. We are ready to go. Isaac Streeter Mustang is going to join us from the Portland Tribune. We'll talk a little Oregon State baseball. He's got a lot of things to talk about, though. I think Isaac's got some things on his mind. He will unload on us and give you all the information coming up right around 20 after the hour. Right over there is intern Dom, who's producing He Was Our Savior in Big Bets. We'll give him some props. We'll also talk to him about the Olympics, because I have some things about the Olympics I had no idea about. I'm Doc. They call me that because that was my nickname in college. Right over there is Baby J. We call him Justin Grossweiner, his Christian name, but he is Baby J. What up, boy?
Well, I'm not quite as fired up today, but you gave a heck of an intro, so I'm ready to go now with all
Come on,
the
man.
exciting
go.
news we've got going on today.
Let's go! All right, let's start off with this. Congratulations to intern Dom, producer Dom. He wasn't here yesterday. By the way, I called Blaze Dom at the end of the show.
He did.
By the way, I did. That'll bring a smile to your face.
It did bring a smile to his face.
Yeah, Dom rescued us on Big Bets, went 3-2, and was closest on the tiebreaker to set down Brad, who rose like a phoenix, although it was just a 3-2 record. So Dom saved us, and it's $100 to Coquel, from Coquel Casino Resort to South Coast Special Olympics. So good on you. You get to play again on Friday. It's not going to be nothing but basketball. This will be our first Big Bets, Baby J. Sans, it'll be a second one.
Yeah,
Sans football.
Right. We got one last football in there just to get one in.
Squoze it in.
Exactly.
We couldn't bet on the Pro Bowl.
We had to wean ourselves off of football a little bit.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that right away, though. Let's not wean our way all the way off. Pro Football Hall of Fame announced their 2026 class. We haven't talked about this. They did it last week, but we're just finally talking about it now.
We talked about who isn't in it.
We certainly did spend a lot of time on it. More than who is in it. Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald, well-deserved, Adam Vinatieri, linebacker Luke Kuechly, and then Roger Craig, who was the seniors finalist. He was the only one to make it from the seniors class. And who didn't make it? Of course, we talked about Bill Belichick, Robert Kraft. Eli Manning was the one that they were talking about a lot last year not making it. So, and this is, by the way, a slightly bigger class than last year. Last year only had 4, and they will induct August the 8th in Canton, Ohio, where we know that now when the first NFL preseason game will be. Because they always do the kickoff at Canton is always the first game of the preseason, so it's August the 8th. You don't have to worry about doing the math there. Okay.
It's a pretty good class.
What do you think about this class?
I think it's a good class. I think that Larry Fitzgerald has an argument as I have a friend that thinks he's the greatest receiver ever, and when I really started to break down the numbers and everything he did, it's kind of hard to argue against it. I don't think
especially
he is the greatest receiver.
Well, especially on some of the I think you have to take into account some of the teams he played on that were really bad. I mean, really bad.
he had a super long career, too. There was one point where Larry Fitzgerald looked like he was kind of done, and he was getting 800 yards. And then he just totally bounced back and was that elite receiver again. I think he's maybe has an argument for number 2. So I think he's very
number one?
deserving.
Jerry Rice.
I mean, it's not even close, I don't think. The man was elite at 40 years old. That's all I'm going to say. Drew Brees, I think he's actually getting a little bit underrated now as well. Okay. People don't talk about Drew Brees anymore. The other guy that I think is kind of interesting here, Luke Kuechly, because he didn't play very long. He was very, very good when he played.
He was a comet.
Longevity is something that I think the Hall of Fame definitely looks at a lot of time, unless you're, of course, Robert Kraft or Bill Belichick.
It just doesn't matter. All right, so there's your Hall of Fame class for 2026. It was announced. Was it today that it was announced? No, it was announced this past weekend, wasn't it? The big Oregon State baseball game
Today.
Okay, so it was officially announced today, but I think you got a little sneak preview of it Saturday, which I missed. So they will, for the first time in 17 years, be playing in Portland. So the Ducks and the Beavs will play, I believe, in April or March. Look it up. I think it's
I'm looking it up right now.
I think it's the 4th. I want to say it's the 4th of March that they play at PK. They play a single game. I don't know if it's a doubleheader. What is it?
I'm just laughing because it's like you're like predicting it. It's March 3rd.
March 3rd. Okay, I was close.
You were very close, but just the way you were.
Is it a doubleheader?
Single game, and you're like almost
is
like
it a
prophetic.
doubleheader?
No, it is not a doubleheader.
Okay, so it is a single game, and then they'll play again, but they wait a month up in Portland at Hop Stadium, which is the renamed Hillsborough Ballpark, on April the 14th. It used to be Ron Tonkin Field, opened up in 2013. It's right behind Hillsborough Stadium, and they just refurbished it according to what Major League Baseball wants, which is the problem that the M's have been having at PK Park. So Ron Tonkin Field, now Hillsborough Ballpark, has been refurbished, and they will host Oregon State on April 14th. So you want to get your tickets. You can actually get tickets if you want to buy, for the listeners that are in our area, maybe not worthwhile to you, but the Hops are selling like some season ticket packages, like not all the games, and they'll include the Oregon State game in that. I saw that on their website today. So there's that.
They also play on April 22nd.
All right, so they'll have 3 games spread out over single dates.
Kind of weird.
It used to be like remember last year it was like 3 and 4 games. They played 2 series. One was down here, and then the other was up at Goss Stadium.
Didn't they play like 5 games in a row?
Yeah. So not doing that this year, obviously.
No.
So, and you have a great question. I want to save it for later, right? Because you're going to ask Isaac.
Oh, yeah, for Isaac,
the question. Yeah, between Oregon State. Oregon softball, the rankings came out after a 2-3, a disappointing weekend at the NFCA Opening Classic in Clearwater, Florida, where the Ducks went 2-3 under Melissa Lombardi. They are now number 14 in the USA softball poll, number 15 in the NFCA poll. Probably fair, but they don't drop out of the top 15. So, it's a long, It is a long season. It's 60-plus games. They are going to keep their track pointed towards Oklahoma City. That is the only thing they're worried about.
You can't
win the Big Ten, win, and go to Oklahoma City.
You can't say it's not noteworthy. We wanted to see this. We were interested to see how they would start. But you also can't sit there and go, well, season's over. Like, they aren't good. Like, that's just, no.
Not going to happen that way.
It's just, we're not even in conference play yet.
Not at all.
It's a timing sport.
All right. So, some of the other things that are going on before we get to Isaac Streeter, and we're also going to talk Oregon men's basketball, another just a gut-wrenching loss. And this one kind of, with all the positive things we talked about the Purdue game, we got to flip it to the other side because they just got taken back out behind the woodshed again by Indiana. They shot really well, but they just could not string plays together at all. I don't know. Did you watch any of the game last night?
I watched some of it.
Okay. I watched a little bit of it as well. I kind of snuck around and took a look at it. And I was the defense was not there. You give up 92 points. I mean, how are you going to expect to win a game? You're not going to outshoot anybody with this team. Even though you shot 50% from the field. You're not going to outshoot anybody. Not score. Yeah. So second chance points weren't there. It was just bad.
It's a rough season.
It really is. It's a forgotten season and a historic season. In 37 years of coaching, Dana Altman has never lost this many games in a row. Ever in 37 years. So the question we've been discussing, right, Justin, is do you point to the coach? Do you point to the injuries? Do you point to all the other outside stuff about the players that you've assembled for a roster?
Mm-hmm.
And then I think the biggest question now, this season's done. You're gonna play out the string, and hopefully it shows some pride, and that's what I'm going to be looking for. But how do you take it out of here and then move it forward? Because you already have to be thinking about, okay, how do we extricate ourselves from this situation that we're in right now? And the Ducks are now 8-16, 1-12. I can't believe I'm saying this.
I know.
1-12 in the Big Ten. And it was just, they host Penn State on Saturday, noon, so they get a little time off. Indiana, by the way, improves to 17-8, 8-6 overall. They were up by 8 at the half, and then they outscore Oregon by 14 in the second half. As the Ducks were led in scoring by Nate Biddle with 15, Sean Stewart with 12, Takai Simpkins with 11, Drew Carter with 10. Wei Lin also had 15 points on 3 of 5 from 3, 6 of 12 from the field. So I will pose this to you, Baby J. How do the Ducks extricate themselves from this mess of a season?
Well, I guess at first you have to make a decision on Dane Altman, right?
On the coaching
starts
staff.
it right there.
Starts right there.
And if you're going to bring him back, which I think the longer the season goes on, the longer I lean toward that, honestly. I just think that, the more we talk about what Dane Altman has done for this program, it's like, okay, we can't just forget all that because this season has really, really sucked. And it's been bad, and it might get worse before it gets better. And I know I said that 2 weeks ago. But they play Penn State, and Penn State's second to last in the standings. They don't win that game. I'm not sure if they're going to win another game. I really don't know at this point. But at the same time, I don't know how relevant that is to the future of this team. Because clearly, Nate Biddle's going to move on. The roster is going to look really different. But I think there has to be a self-evaluation and accountability from everybody. It can't just be, well, this is the issue. It's not one thing, clearly.
It's pretty easy when you're in the muck and the mire. And by the way, the Danny and Justin radio program, thanks for tuning in to the #1 sports station in the Valley, Fox Sports Eugene, also on the coast at Fox Sports Newport. You can also stream us wherever you're at. So you just, not just over the air, you can find us online at both those websites, Fox Sports Eugene and Fox Sports Newport. It's easy to point fingers in every other direction except looking in the mirror. And I think there needs to be evaluation from top to bottom. I would like to see, and I think there will be, some deliberations after the season's over with. And I think Rob Mullins, who has been an incredible athletic director for Oregon. I mean, think about the rise, the facility improvements, the overall top to bottom in every sport, how Oregon has improved over the tenure of Rob Mullins sitting in the AD's chair. I think he will sit down with Dana and his coaching staff and go, okay, I'm going to give you a chance to tell me what this looks like moving. How are you going to seismically change and turn this thing around? Because that's what's needed. And then he'll evaluate it and he'll make a decision based on that as well. More than anything, I think that's what needs to happen.
Right.
And I think that's what's going to happen.
I think so too. There has to be an evaluation from everybody. One thing that I've talked about with you off the air, and I don't know if we've talked about it on the air too much, but it's something that's always, and I guess more recently confused me about this Oregon program, is that the football program, and I know that's where all the money's going, players come from across the country to come to this football program because they're marketed well.
Yep.
They're on the cutting edge of player, NIL stuff, but also like marketing their players as well. I just saw a Decorian Moore Red Bull ad the other day, and I was like, that's Decorian Moore. Like, okay, and he wasn't being marketed as Decorian Moore, Oregon receiver, but you get what I'm saying. They know how to market their players. Where is that with, honestly, most of the other programs?
Yeah.
Especially in basketball. It just seems like it isn't the type of program that's attracting these players that are the top-level players, and that's how you win in basketball.
Well, I think Oregon has struggled, and this is just my opinion. I think Oregon struggled ever since, it's going to seem simplistic, folks, so just bear with me as I try and make my thought less than 2 minutes. I can do it in less than 2 minutes.
We're doing good on time today.
We are doing great on time. I think Oregon struggled trying to figure out how to attract fans to fill MKA since they left Matt Court. Matt Court was an easy fill. I mean, it wasn't an easy fill, but it was 9,000 people with people standing outside hoping somebody was not going to get there or scrambling for tickets. and now you're trying to fill a 12,000 plus seat stadium. You can read that one. It's finding, especially with the shifting sands and the moving tides of NIL and transfer portal, and how even in the NBA that there are younger kids making the jump to try and get into the league. And now the NBA has expanded with the G League and such. So there's more opportunities than there were before for a player to get to that level. Mm-hmm. There are fewer players in the pool, right? I mean, when you talk about a football team, literally 40 guys, technically. I mean, if you talk about starters and then elite backups, you're talking about almost 40 guys on a team that could get looks for NFL jobs. And then multiply that by how many teams there are, okay? In basketball, at the most, you're carrying 12 to 15 guys on a roster. Okay, so I'm kind of sidewinding here, but I'll just say I think Oregon has had trouble in the last 5 years navigating the portal and how you distribute NIL and then how you market the program within the community. I think that's been the biggest thing. It doesn't seem like unless they're a homegrown Oregon product like a Nate Bill or a Jackson Shellstad, there is no connection with the community with these players. There's a lot more connection with the women's basketball program, a lot more connection with the women's softball program, and even in the baseball side. I think Waz, and we'll have Waz on later this week, we'll talk to him about this. I think he's done a great job of trying to get his players connected and get connected to the fans. But a lot of that's coming from within that program. So go ahead.
Great point. Do you want to read the tweet?
Yeah, there's a tweet. Go ahead and do the handle and say, we'll love this.
Rachel Bite-Coffer, so thank you for tweeting at us. She says, it's not just one season we've had a team incapable of filling Knight Arena. Since it opened, Altman needs to go despite the fact that people like him.
And that is probably encapsulating what a lot of the fan base feels.
And but something you're just talking about as well.
It's been that struggle. And listen, teams will feed off of the energy that comes from the crowd. You talk to any player, they go, when we've got people screaming and yelling at the opponent or screaming us on, that it gets us to another level. Kelly Graves talks about it. Every coach has talked about that. The home field, the home court advantage it's a thing.
And did we talk about something that he commented on with the banners? Did we talk about that on the air?
I don't think we did, that they didn't move any of the banners from the old MAC court into Matt Knight Arena, and I don't know what that was all about. I still haven't asked anybody for an official
facilities
comment.
Too, like all the ones for Sabrina and all those teams. Like it doesn't. And I didn't get to experience MAC court except for going there.
No, that's a shame because it was incredible. I almost felt like I was going to die there sometimes when I was up on the third terrace up there, and all it was held on by wires. It still is. And when the place was shaking, the whole thing was shaking. And you thought, oh my God, I'm going to die here. The whole thing's going to collapse. Go ahead.
No, I mean, it seemed like it was a real home court advantage.
It was.
And it's so strange to me because I love Matthew Knight Arena. Honestly, it's a great facility. It's beautiful. I've always liked the court, to be honest with you. I know I'm kind of in the minority with that. They've toned it down, and it still looks weird sometimes on some broadcasts. But, yeah, I think that you're completely on the button, and I know you just want me to agree with you all the time. But I think you're right here. I think that the ability to connect the players with the fans is something that, regardless of what you do at head coach, that has to be improved. And it's something that college basketball is changing at this rapid level where you have the way that teams are operating are very different than it was even 2 or 3 years ago.
Well,
so you got to adapt.
It's even at the point when you go to a lot of events, and it's not just at Oregon, by the way. I'm just going to say this: there's this struggle throughout college athletics now. The way this has been evolving is you go to events now where before it was like, yeah, you can get a picture and an autograph and everything else. Players aren't even giving autographs out for the most part anymore unless they're getting paid for it. I mean, that's what we've gotten down to. Now, I'm not saying, again, it's every player, every program, every sport, but there is this transactional nature now in college athletics that's just, it's taken the amateurism away from it. It's taken away, if I can make this plea, it's taken away what I love about college athletics. It was because there are some pro sports I have no interest in until you get to a certain point in the season. Stop smiling at me.
Which ones?
It's the NBA. I can say that. I've told this to Travis. until they get to the playoffs. Because you know what? Who plays defense anymore for the most part?
Nobody.
Okay, there's my point.
Except for some teams.
So when I look behind me and I see North Carolina pulling the upset against Duke and the joy on their faces, I'm also thinking, who's getting paid what now? Who's getting paid what? Now, before, I almost would like to have the ignorance is bliss thing where it's like I knew people were getting paid, but it was under the table and everyone could complain about it out front and behind the scenes and all that. But, okay, it almost seemed like it was better then.
Yeah. Well, I think the conversation before then has always just been about what players should be compensated, right? And when players weren't getting paid, we were saying, hey, like they're kind of getting taken advantage of. So there has to be some middle ground between players and getting compensated for what they should be and what's been going on, which is the Wild West.
Totally agree, because the universities are making money off of jersey sales, off of likeness, off of all of that. So I agree. Did we solve anything? I don't think we solved anything. I think what we
never
did,
do.
we just gave a lot more things for you to discuss. And in talking about that, the great Mustang, Isaac Streeter from the Portland Tribune, is going to join us. He is a wealth of knowledge. We can't poke him about the Brewers this time. There's really nothing to talk about.
No.
There really. So we can set that aside. We can have a friendly conversation with our good friend Isaac Streeter. Oregon State baseball, basketball. He covers everything. We'll talk to him next on the Danny and Justin radio program. If you miss us on the live version of this radio program on Fox Sports Eugene, Fox Sports Newport, always head back over to the podcast. It's about 49 minutes out of your life. It goes really fast. It flies by. So wherever you subscribe to your podcast, music, all that, just subscribe. You'll get a little notification when we upload a new podcast, which is this radio program. Danny and Justin for a Tuesday already, live from the Bigfoot Beverages Studios. And let's head on over to the Oregon Man Clinic's hotline at 541-343-5673 and welcome in a good friend of ours, even though he is a Brewers fan. We're not going to talk baseball in that respect. Well, you are. You are. So, but you are still a good friend of ours. It's Isaac Streeter from the Portland Tribune. He is a personality hire, and he is a proud Sac State alum. Go Hornets. Go Stingers. And what you up to this week, buddy?
Well, first and foremost, Stingers up. Thank you for the shout. But other than that, just getting prepped for baseball season, getting ready to freeze my butt off in the Oregon press box this weekend. I don't know how they're going to play 4 games there, especially with freezing rain set for their doubleheader on Saturday. But that's neither here nor there. I'll get the week going on Thursday with Oregon State women, the basketball team.
Yeah, let's start there. So Oregon State women had a tough one. Gonzaga kind of took them out behind, the proverbial shed. They're looking to rebound. They come back from that road trip, and they get to host Santa Clara and Pacific on Thursday and Saturday. Locked in with a tough matchup. The Broncos and Portland tied with LMU at 9-3 in the conference standings. And they all 3 in a row will be visiting Gill Coliseum over the season's final weeks. I really want to start with Allie Schimmel because she, after being a walk-on, you want to talk about a story. 3A Corbett, little old Corbett, 2 state runner-ups, title as a senior. And she is just like, from downtown, she's money this year for the Beavs.
She certainly is, and I don't want to take too much credit for it, but I did write a feature on her 2 days before she got put on scholarship. There you go. I've been pulling for Allie for a good long while. She's a fun player to watch, and I think the thing that goes underrated in it, and mostly just because defensive statistics are so hard to track in really any sport, but goodness, that girl has played incredible defense as their 2 guard, as swinging down to the 3 as well. Iced out Allie Turner for Gonzaga in that first go around. Obviously, that second game was not at all what they wanted. But yeah, she's been stellar for them.
And aside from that Gonzaga game as well, for Kennedy Schuler, she's been awesome. Just absolutely, when she's on, she fills up the stat sheet like a player I haven't seen in a long time for any of the teams we cover over here. So how important is she going to be? Like, is she going to be that player that can really just, maybe not always scoring, but it's just all the little things that she does. Like, can she carry this team?
Kennedy Schuler's been carrying this team since last year, guys. Like, this is an unreal basketball player. I mean, I like to joke that she she plays point guard with the mentality of a power forward. And, it's mostly because she doesn't have a big time outside shooting game, but, that's why you add the Allie Schimmels and Jenna Villas of the world to this roster. But Kennedy Schuler is like willpower defined for this basketball team. And, the way Ruick smiles at her, it's like akin to his daughter. Those two are conjoined at the hip. She's an absolute floor general for them. And I agree with you. Like, I haven't seen a basketball player in the women's game collegiately be this dominant on a night-to-night basis, probably since I got this job. It's unreal what she does.
The Portland Tribune's Isaac Streeter, we call him Mustang, here on the Danny and Justin radio program, live from the Bigfoot Beverages studios. We'll talk Olympics in the last segment, along with the Blazers with a nice win, a couple in a row now for Portland in the last segment after we're done with Isaac. But let's continue on Oregon State hoops. Scott Ruick has molded this team, and I don't know, and I'll ask your opinion on it. Is this one of the better season's not over, but is this one of the better coaching jobs that Scott Ruick's done with this cast of characters?
I haven't been around for long enough to, I feel like, accurately state that. I mean,
okay.
I think I think I might have been in second or third grade when he took that job, but, yeah, sorry to make you both feel old.
Thank you. No problem. I got a jacket. I'm good.
Danny.
Yeah.
It's incredible what he does. I think more so in terms of fantastic coaching jobs, I would look back to what he did last year. That team was under 500 headed into February and won the tournament. So the way they pulled it together at the end of last year was really impressive. This past weekend for them was ugly. Portland's always going to be a rock fight for them. He and Mike Meek up there at Portland go so far back that those two just love playing against each other. And truth be told, I don't know what happened at Gonzaga. That team blew up.
Yeah.
Granted, they benched the starters for much of the second half. I'm not sure if that was a frustration thing or if it was just a games out of reach thing. This was a really, really bad weekend for them, but a super great opportunity for them to get right against Santa Clara. Especially as now they're going to be scrapping for an upper seed in the tournament.
Thursday, February 12th, 6 p.m. at Gill, and a 2 p.m. start on Valentine's Day. Plenty of time to take your sweetheart out for dinner. Saturday, February 14th at Gill Coliseum. Let's switch over to the Diamond, and we'll start with Oregon State. 4 Beavers named to the NCBWA preseason, and they all are pitchers. You've got Oregon State ranked anywhere. I think I see them from 12th to 7th, depending on whether there's so many baseball polls out there, dude. I don't know. I can't keep track of all of them. But highly ranked is the best way to put it. But Mitch Canham's squads had to do some retooling, and the seems like the pitching staff got bolstered a little bit. You got that big 6'6" kid come from Washington, and then the biggest question I think is going to be power. Where's the power going to come from in this offense?
There isn't going to be a ton of it, truth be told. I think you look at Jacob Craig, their first baseman, hit, I believe, 14 home runs last year, was second to Arquette and Turley in that regard, but an incredible power threat in his own right. Was retooling his swing at the end of last year. I don't think they're not going to hit for as much power as they did last year. That's the truth. But I don't really think that it matters to them. I think they're going to be super comfortable playing small ball. I don't think it comes as, they're built in the mold of my Milwaukee Brewers, and I don't say that
which
just
you
for
said
my
lovingly.
own regard. Of course. But, Pat Casey was in the dugout for the divisional series last year, and I know he and Murph and he and Mitch are still very close, so I imagine some ideas were shared there. But they're going to be a small ball club this year. I think they're going to be happy doing that, and they're going to lean on what is, my pick for the best pitching staff in the country.
Isaac Streeter, Portland Tribune, with us on the Danny and Justin radio program for a Tuesday. Thought it was interesting. It came out today that there's going to be a third non-conference game between Oregon and Oregon State. And it just had me wondering, Isaac, why does it seem to be more of a willingness for these two programs to play each other in basketball and in baseball and these other sports?
Softball.
All the other sports. Why not football? Like, what's the difference here?
I think it's just the simple thing. I mean, you look at where the programs have been over the past couple of years. I know the women's basketball team for Oregon State doesn't really want to keep playing that rivalry, just with the state it's in. I think in baseball, you look at those two teams and see it as as it's necessary for both of them. The Big Ten isn't a great baseball conference, and Oregon State and Oregon need the RPI help playing against each other, certainly adds to that. For football, it's kind of bleak, to be truthful. I mean, those two programs are just in different stratospheres right now. It's been that way for a while, but it's really that way right now. And, I think that could be something that maybe they'll get on the schedule next year for 2027. Obviously, it won't be played this year, but I think it might be good for those two to take a break from each other for a little while because it's been ugly as of late.
So speaking of schedule, I'm going to stay on baseball here, Isaac. Mitch Canham playing another independent schedule this year, opted not to play WCC ball, which worked in his favor last year, and I think it'll again work in his favor this year, especially when you look at the schedule to open up the year. Holy smokes, Michigan, Arizona, Stanford, Baylor, Southern Miss, Houston. I don't know if they're a powerhouse, but then you got Alabama in there as well. So you've got a pretty stout schedule, potentially, depending on how it all shakes out. But is there ever, or could there ever, be a situation where Mitch Canham, when the Pac-12 comes back together, because I'm looking at all those schools, I'm like, you're taking some WCC, you're taking some Mountain West. Again, not powerhouse programs. Could Mitch Canham go off script, or would he be allowed to go off script and keep playing an independent schedule? Or am I crazy?
I doubt it. I doubt it because
I want you to have chaos with me.
No, I know, but they didn't add Dallas Baptist as a baseball only member for nothing. That's the draw, and I think that ends up probably making them a two-bid league, even with how small it is.
Okay,
it's going to be a tiny baseball conference, but I think there's still plenty of talent there. Fresno State's been great for a steady, consistent program. DBU has done what they've done. From a pitching standpoint, I think it's a strong league, but no, unfortunately, I think Mitch will be a good soldier on this one, and we'll be happy to be back in the pack.
We talked a little bit about the offense already, not going to be that power-hitting offense we saw from last year, probably a lot more small ball, but is there a guy that you look at as kind of largely under the radar, not known right now, that you expect to play a bigger role or a big role in that offense?
Yeah, I looked at Adam Haight, he's a sophomore now. He's going to play somewhere in the outfield. It may be center, it may be left. I'm not totally sure yet. But he's more than likely, I believe, going to be an everyday guy for this roster. And, he's someone who Mitch early in the fall and now through to the spring has been very high on. Former top 200 guy in the draft. The Mets took him in the 20th round, but he got to campus. He two-wayed last year. Didn't see a ton of action. The outfield was just loaded, and it was a new position for him. He played shortstop in high school and pitched a little too. But this year they're settling in as just an outfielder, and they're really high on him from what it sounds like. He'd be my pick to click.
Isaac Streeter with us on the Oregon Man Clinic's hotline, 541-343-5673. As we roll through a Tuesday, we'll talk Olympics, Blazers in the last segment here on the Danny and Justin radio program. Let's flip it over to PK Park and Mark Wasikowski's team, who starts out this weekend at home, as you said, Friesinger took us off at George Mason to start out, and then Youngstown State coming into town, and then off to Vegas for Arizona, UC Irvine, Vanderbilt before coming home on that in-state rivalry game against Oregon State. So Waz needs to, you want to talk about replacing production, he's got to replace a pitching staff that had more than half of his wins last year. He's got to replace some power hitters that had more than two-thirds of his power home runs last year. So does Waz have enough that's coming back and then what he added in to make this viable again?
I think he's losing some of the top-end talent from last year's squad, obviously. I think their ceiling might be a little bit lower, but I think they've raised the floor in a lot of areas. I think they've gotten a year older in the bullpen, and Lord knows that bullpen could use it. That was a really rough stretch there for a little bit. They lost some standout guys to the portal. I think of Santiago Garcia and Cole Stokes, who went to LSU and Florida State, respectively. What I think they've also done, they're going to be a little bit smaller ball too, but I think they're going to be more balanced kind of through the lineup. And they've got some big freshman names that they're excited about. Angel Laya plays the outfield, and then Braden Jacksa, catcher behind the dish. Both could, provide some real thump to that lineup. But it'll be an interesting year for them for sure.
What do you expect in that leadoff spot? I think there's a couple guys you'd probably look at. Maybe Ryan Cooney obviously led the team in batting average last year. Or do you just go ahead and just say, Maddox Maloney, you're going to be our best player. Just go ahead and get those at bats every single day.
That's what I would do. But track record suggests, I mean, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but anytime Maddox Maloney hit above the 5-hole last year, he really struggled. He was kind of a bottom of the order guy, which is pretty surprising for someone who's had as big of, draft implications as he has throughout his tenure. My bet to hit leadoff would probably be Cooney, if not Jack Brooks, who's been a utility guy, but probably is their starting center fielder on opening day. I think that they're really excited about him and what he can do on the base paths. Had a really strong summer for Springfield in the WCL, but it would be between Cooney or Brooks for me.
So Matt Flora joins the U of O staff from San Diego as the pitching coach as Hawk heads off. And we talked about what Mitch Canham might want to do in terms of his style of play. What do you think Coach Waz wants to do this year with his style of play, with knowing what he's bringing back and what he's replaced?
Yeah, I think it's a similar story. I don't think they'll hit for as much power. I don't think they're going to be a complete small ball, bunting team. I think they're still going to want to be really fundamentally sound, and will lean on, doubles in the gaps and hoping lefties can pull home runs out of that bandbox of the stadium. But I'm not totally sure there's a super clear identity. If you had him on, he'd probably say his identity would be winning baseball games.
Well, we'll ask him on Thursday because he'll be on.
Oh, sure. Tell him I say hi when he's on. But,
absolutely.
He's a interesting guy, but and a fun one to cover. But I'm not totally sure if there's a super defined identity for them. I think it's going to be kind of a evolving thing over the year, just based on how they can get guys going and who really pops early.
And maybe this is the same question worded a little bit differently, but teams are either designed, hopefully to both prevent runs and to score runs. But you're most likely teams are going to kind of fall into one category more than another. Do you get a sense at all of if is this going to be a run prevention team, or is this going to be a team that's just you're going to want to score runs like they did last year? I mean, they had a really great offense; they could compete and score. Even if their pitching staff gave up some runs. Is there any indication from you early on about which of those this team is going to be in terms of their identity?
Probably still more in the vein of let's score runs. You look at that lineup and they're going to be really excited about a lot of guys that they've got in it. Obviously, we talked about Maloney. Drew Smith's back. He was a big piece for them. Same with Cooney, just an on-base machine. I think they've gotten better on the pitching side and will be able to prevent more runs. Kind of how that bullpen is going to shake out is something I'm really interested to see this weekend. But they're going to be strong at the top of the rotation. They're returning Colin Clark, who started a lot of games for them, Ian Umlaut, who I think will end up throwing out of the pen. But kind of the prized possession is Cal Scolari, who came over with floor from USD. He's going to get looks as a draft pick later this summer and would be my guess to kind of anchor Friday nights. Will Sanford, who I called the baby rattlesnake for a lot of last year.
Nice.
Good nickname. Just had no idea what the venom was doing. He'd either bite himself or
That's awesome.
But it's freakish fastball. I mean, just the vert he pulls on that thing is ridiculous. It looks like an airplane taking off. Seems like he's taken a big step forward. I think they could be a lot better in the rotation this year, but it'll fall on the bullpen yet again.
All right, Mustang, last question for you. How's the washer and dryer?
The washer and dryer is great. It's funny you ask. I remember my last appearance, man. I was so fussy with that thing. You were working that night. Finally got it working that night. It's working great. We had a celebratory Miller Lite after it was all connected, but it's great. The girlfriend's a big fan of it. The downstairs neighbors are not because it makes a lot of noise. But other than that, it's working great.
All right, maybe I need to come out there and level it for you so it doesn't bounce around a little bit. Okay,
for sure.
I can help you with that. All right, Mustang, thanks a lot. I did appreciate the video, by the way. That was awesome. So thank you very much for that.
Boys.
All right, boys. Thanks. We'll see you later.
Take care.
All right, there he goes, the great Isaac Streeter. We call him Mustang. So I'm glad they got clean clothes. That's all I can say.
I'm glad he got it figured out.
Did I ever share the video with you that he sent me?
Yes, you did.
Okay. Right,
yes, you
good.
did. Remember we did it when we were on our drive up to
Oh, that's
Coquel.
right. I did. That's right. Yeah, down to Coquel. That was a long drive.
It was. It was a 2-hour Danny and Justin.
We did like 2 shows.
We did.
On the way down. Speaking of that, let's talk about the Olympics yet. I got a bone to pick with our intern. We'll talk about it next on the Danny and Justin radio program. The number 1 sports station in the Valley. It's the Danny and Justin radio program on Fox Sports Eugene. Also out there on the coast, all the ships at sea, Fox Sports Newport. Thanks for tuning in live from the Bigfoot Beverages studio. Our last segment, Dad Joke, coming up. And tomorrow on the program, Baby J. I took care of Thursday. You took care of Friday. Who do we have tomorrow?
We're going to try to get Saul on.
Oh, great. Saul Galvin.
The voice of Oregon softball.
Yeah, I like that. All right. See if Silk will have time in his busy schedule since he's such a celebrity now. Maybe he'll remember the little people like us. If you miss us as well, and we miss you, you can listen to us whenever you want, on demand, wherever you podcast or get your music. You know, like the Podverse thing or Apple or Amazon or wherever, Spotify. Danny and Justin is the handle. Go find us, like, subscribe, and we're going to drop right into your inbox every single day. Blazers, nice win. 135-118, one of their best offensive performances of the season. They outscored the 76ers of Philadelphia by 25 points in the third to set up that big win at the Moda Center, and a crowd over 16,000 for a Monday night. That's crazy and great.
I was just going to jump in here.
Okay.
Is it crazy to say that this is, in a way, sort of the high point of the season? Hear me out. Okay, all these other teams have just made trades. Everybody behind them has made trades to get worse. The Blazers got a little bit better with the trade for Pete Krejci. They finally get Scoot Henderson back. There was a big ovation when he was first introduced, so he's been back for a few games now, although he has been in and out of the lineup, not playing them on back-to-backs, for instance. Mm-hmm. Okay, and then you get Denny Avdia back, so he's in there. So you get 2 of those guys. Unfortunately, Shaedon Sharpe, of course, the first game that Scoot gets back, gets an injury, so he's going to be out of the lineup. But in a way, I think that, you beat a great team in Philadelphia that's going to definitely be at least a sort of a contender in the East. So I don't know. I think that this team it's a little bit on the up and up. I'm just saying.
Third straight. This has been since the last 3 weeks. It has really been a roller coaster.
It has absolutely.
Blazers win 3 in a row, get over 500, then they lose 6 in a row, and now they're 3-2 in their last 5. They've won 3 straight now. They complete the 5-game homestand. They're 26-28 overall, now 16-13 at home. Tamani Kamara after the game said, "Everybody's locked in. We're connected. We're having fun out there. We're the right." He's saying all the right things that you want to hear.
They finally have the roster back, almost, because again, Shaedon Sharpe's out. But
so
besides that.
So who do we have? Do we have the mayor on Friday?
Yes, he is going to be on Friday.
Okay, so we'll have Travis Demers, which will be interesting to hear his take on everything that's been going on, especially with Damian Lillard being named to the three-point contest for the All-Star game.
Crazy.
Do you know who else he's competing with, by the way? Did you see the...
I'm guessing it's going to be...
Devin Booker, Con Kneppel?
Con Kneppel, yep.
See, I said that right this time.
Yeah, good job.
Charlotte's on, a 9-game winning streak right now? Oh, they lost?
Not only did they lose, they had 4 players ejected in a brawl.
See?
True story.
Okay. Didn't even see that. Tyrese Maxey from Philadelphia, Donovan Mitchell, Jamal Murray, Bobby Portis Jr., and Norman Powell from
former
Miami.
Blazer.
I love Norman Powell. Former Toronto Raptor, former LA Clipper.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now he's in
there you go. Look at this
beautiful
guy.
Miami. See? How about that?
It's impressive.
Right off the top of my head. And that's not even on that sheet, by the way. I did it off the top of my head.
No, I think Dame has a good chance.
I think he does, too. As long as he shoots flat-footed, he'll be fine. The Danny and Justin radio program, thanks for tuning in. All right, so if you follow us on Twitter, Danny and Justin, we hope you do. Go ahead and follow if you aren't. Like and subscribe us there as well. You can't subscribe.
Turn
Just
that mic
follow
on,
us
Dom,
there.
and face the music.
All right, Tom.
Tom?
Intern Dom. I said
Tom?
Dom? No, I said
Okay.
call Tom. I said Dom.
Okay.
Intern Dom took over social media today. We're trying to teach the youngins. He's not really that young. Well, he is kind of young. A proud U of O student, and in his senior year, and he's helping us out. He and Blaze for this term all the way through, whether they like it or not. They're hooked at the hip to us. Now, you did the social media tweet today, right? And I had said to Justin, I'd sent him a text to tell everybody who was going to do it, which means you, kind of the rundown. We call it a rundown in the business. Pull the microphone up a little bit closer to you so you can speak clearly into it. And so one of the things I said, so now here's the thing. I texted out to Justin, I'm going to read it word for word, is maybe something about me not realizing the Olympics started until Saturday. Because that is, hand to God, that is the truth. I am a winter sports kind of nut, and it shocked me. I looked over at my wife because we have all the streaming services, and there were the Olympics plastered all over the place. I haven't been watching television for the last week. And so I put that up, and I'm like, holy smokes, the Olympics are going. Right. I turned to my wife, she goes, yeah, like she knew. And yet, here's the tweet that went out.
Well, and let me just add a little bit here.
Go
because
ahead.
Dom actually did text me as well. He said, do you want me to add anything from the Olympics? And I confirmed to him, yes, I wanted you to add the part about Danny not knowing it started until Saturday, because we're going to talk about that.
Here's the tweet, the last paragraph. A massive snowdrop continues in the West. Our host, and you tagged me in there, thank you, at Danny Havel, forgets snow sports even exists as he's unaware that the Winter Olympics have begun. So I just want to know where the editorial comment came in that snow sports exist, that I don't know they exist.
Well, I was more just emphasizing the fact that the Olympics started when you found out 4 days prior to when you found out they were going on. And there's been a lot of stuff about Lindsey Vonn.
Which we've talked
about. Yeah.
And so I thought it'd be a little funny to be like, oh, because
it's hilarious.
It was great. Because in Oregon, a big thing going on is like people are like, there's no snow, we can't ski and all this.
No,
so I was
it's true. It's true.
The snow drought in the West has ruined snow sports for everyone on the West.
Okay.
That was my mindset.
Okay.
I loved it.
It was funny.
I came in and told him that I loved it.
I chuckled. Just be careful.
I was unaware for your love for snow sports.
I am by far, collectively, you guys don't have as much love and passion for the sport of hockey that I do, combined.
Nope.
In fact, probably nobody within a 2-mile radius of me right now.
Possibly.
I am a fanatical hockey fan. I love downhill skiing. I love speed skating. And I am hurt that I missed out on the first few days. My wife and I are actually watching curling the other night.
Mm-hmm. I heard it was really exciting, actually.
It was exciting. For people who want to bang on curling, man, I think it was pretty exciting.
You want to know my take on snow sports? All right, I've lived in Chicago, Wisconsin, and Alaska. I'm good. I lived it. I don't have to pretend it. I'm just kidding. They're great. I love, honestly, my favorite's the downhill, which is kind of unfortunate for Lindsey Vonn.
Right.
And then I love snowboarding. I love seeing what they do on the half pipe.
All right, I know we got to get to dad joke, but hold on 1 second. I want one more thing. So great job on the tweet, by the way. You keep doing what you're doing. Prefontaine Classic, by the way, announced a couple of the people who are going to compete in the Bowerman Mile. Here's the all-star lineup here. Cole Hawker is coming back. Cameron Myers, who was the fastest 16-year-old in the mile in 2023 and the World U20 record holder, is coming. And Sam Ruthie is currently the youngest sub-4 miler in history, breaking Cameron Myers' record from 2023. They're all going to be at the Bowerman Mile.
That's awesome.
And the 25th of February is when all the tickets go on sale for the pre and for the U20 World Championships. So let's do dad joke.
Oh, a joke!
I got fired from the bank today. A woman asked me to check her balance, so I pushed her.
Dad jokes!
All right, here's a vegetable dad joke for you. What was the little sweet potato's favorite book? What was a cute little sweet potato's favorite book?
I don't know.
Got a guess?
I have no idea.
Green Eggs and Yam.
Another pun.
Love the puns. Punny, punny, pun. Pun, pun, pun. There you go. All right, tomorrow on the program, we're efforting.
Saul,
if you're within the sound of our voice, confirm with Justin that you're going to grace us with your presence tomorrow. Thursday, be Mark Waskowski, Oregon men's baseball coach. And on Friday, the great mayor of Rip City, Travis Demers. For intern producer Dom. For Baby J. I'm Doc. They call me Danny. Thanks for tuning in, friends. Put a smile on your face. Someone else says they deserve it. So do you. God bless. Peace.